Hello. Today I will be talking about how God answers back. So, starting off, stop continuing in sin, confess all your sins, and believe God is the I am, the one who sent Jesus Christ. So, that's the first step. I've sufficiently proven before that God is against sin, and this is because if we listen for God for 10 minutes, God will push those sins in the mind. We put a label over that and call that guilty conscience. But it is God pushing the sins in the mind. Even the even the sins that are not based on morality, such as cussing on one's own, getting drunk, bowing down to other god statues, or dealing with the occult. So those are not based on morality, but God will push the guilty conscience in the mind. It's uncomfortable. He's pushing the sins in the mind. So that's God. That's how he responds back. And we need to confess each and every sin that God is pushing in the mind. And so to specifically prove what his name is I am from Exodus 3:14. His name is also covered by the word Lord in all caps in 1,000 pages of the Bible. So it's in the preface of the Bible, especially in the early 2000s, about how I am, God's name from Exodus 3:14, is covered by the word Lord in all caps in 1,000 pages of the Bible. So that's God's name. So that's his name from the Bible, I am. And he sent Jesus Christ, and I've talked about this before, how they are not one and the same. And so I've talked about this before, it's really easy. Just believe that God is a monotheistic God of the Bible for 2 weeks while not continuing in sin, and nothing bad happens. So that will prove that God is the monotheistic God of the Bible, I am, from Exodus 3:14. He sent Jesus Christ. And I've talked about this before, so if you want to see that video in more details about how God is against sin and what his name is and how he responds back in that other video, just click on the thumbnail with the yellow background with Will Smith in it. So definitely check out that video. But in this video, I will talk about how God answers back through prayer. I've done this before. I've asked God to help me before to deal with a woman that has a terrible attitude, just a horrible attitude to deal with. And so I asked God to make her happy. She's never happy, but the next day she was really happy. And so, which is unusual because she's just terrible to talk to and just a terrible, horrible person. And so she was really happy that day. So God answered my prayers when I had to deal with her that day. And so God answered my prayers. So through low probability, God has answered my prayers. And so I suggest for other people to do this is to ask God to help you in whatever you need help in, and to assess the probability after that has happened, just to make sure that that was low probability. If it is, then God has responded back through prayer. So as long as you stop continuing in sin, confess all your sins, and believe God is the I am, the one who sent Jesus Christ, and God will answer your prayers if you ask God for help. So with that, I would like to add with a caveat that you should not use the prayer of Jabez about expanding one's territory and, keep yourself from the evil one. Don't use people's specific prayers from the Bible. Even though this is only hypothetical, I surmise that if one stops continuing in sin and they use the prayer of Jabez as their own to expand their territory, to have more blessing, to use that specific prayer from Jabez, that their life should get worse as time progresses if they keep on using that prayer of Jabez. So don't use this. I know that other pastors are starting to use this. Don't use this. Don't use other people's prayers. And I'm not going to do this, but if other people want to do this, hypothetically, their life should get worse if they keep on using the prayer of Jabez as their own. Just don't give into confirmation bias or self-fulfilling prophecy while doing this. And still, your life should get worse if you use the prayer of Jabez. So don't do this. I'm not going to use it. It's only hypothetical, but I surmise there is a correlation that just don't use the prayer of Jabez. Ask God to help you. He will answer back as long as you stop continuing in sin and confess all your sins and believe God is the I am, the one who sent Jesus Christ. So once enough people do this using prayer, then we can finally confirm this, and I can add this to the list of how God responds back. So thank you. I'll come out with more videos. I've been busy, and I'll come out with more videos in the future. So thank you.